Hello, I am Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about version 11.0 that just went live yesterday to North America and Europe. So, version 11.0 is actually one of the more exciting updates that I can remember from my whole Puzzle & Dragons experience, because not only does it bring amazing quality of life features, but it finally introduces the Monster Box folder system. And this folder system is incredible because it allows you to have almost unlimited customization for sorting your monster box in any way that you please. And I actually have a video guide which you can watch on your own, but I'm going to also be narrating my way through it, as well as discussing the new evolutions that were released, as well as my thoughts and opinions on them. And then finally, a little heads up about the plus 15 Gung Ho Palleg machine that's coming back on Friday. If you want to read the official patch notes, always check the Gung Ho Facebook page, but I linked it here in this article, which will be in the YouTube description down below. So, Monster Box folders. So, Monster Box folders are probably one of the best things to ever happen to Puzzle & Dragons because, like I said earlier, it allows you to customize how your box is sorted, because we now have two tabs that you can customize, and then we have a tab for evolution, awakening, and enhanced materials. So by default, all of your enhanced materials, evolution, and awakening materials get shoved into those boxes, and then what you're left with is like the not set folder. And from the not set folder, you can move certain cards into specific folders or tabs, and that way you can basically view and customize the way you want to see your monster box. So for myself, what I did was I shoved all of my 297 plus egg holders into a certain tab, so I can kind of keep track to see how much excess resources I have available, as well as kind of like the prizes, so like all the various radar dragons or random miscellaneous prizes I've thrown into another folder. And then what I'm left with in the not set category is basically all of my rare machine cards, certain dungeon drops, and random plus egg holders that are not fully 297. So I found that's actually quite helpful, and if you do want to watch the video, we can watch the video here. I'm not going to play it because the YouTube section is kind of weird, and one Mantastic is probably enough at a time. But one thing I do want to stress is that you want to try and sort your evolution materials by this sort of style. Go into sort and you go favorite, HP, attack, recovery, none, and basically this will allow you to display your evolution materials almost to a certain extent by their type, because from this image shown here, basically I'm showing that I have all the different masks because all the masks have the same amount of health. So sorting it in this way here will basically show me that I need to play Wednesday Dungeon, because from the top I don't have any of the bigger masks and I only have a couple of the smaller medium masks, I should say. So it's a way for me to quickly glance and see if I actually need to go play certain dungeons. I might be sneezing very soon. I tend to sneeze very loud. Just bear with me. No, the feeling has passed. Okay, so another thing that I want to note, mention is that from these different tabs, the sorting function that you left them with most recently is saved to that tab specifically. So when I do this sorting function for my evolution materials, this will not actually apply to any of the other tabs, because if I do my normal sorting methods, they will appear there as by default. So this is great because now you can go between tabs and you can intelligently view what you have available and if you need to go out and play something. So I'm actually very happy with this because they did make a small error, I feel, in the previous update where they changed how favorite is sorted, and this kind of helps compensate because now things are moved around intelligently. Now we're into the new evolutions, and the first one is Reincarnated Cecilia. And this is probably the most exciting evolution for most players, especially those who have her, because she is one of the most unparalleled and powerful leaders available to date, because she has an amazingly scaling leader skill, and she can utilize some of the best subs available. So her active skill is 75% damage reduction with for one turn. So you basically survive any hit for one turn. You have +1 combo count also for a single turn on a 10-turn cooldown. So it's a reasonable active skill. It's okay, it's not amazing, but it's actually good for endgame content because it allows you to survive mechanics, as well as that it actually has merit and value even if you don't need one of the components. Sometimes you need the shield, but sometimes you need a bonus combo count, and at least you have the option of using both. But in terms of her pros, they're very long because she is pretty amazing. She is a purely skill-based leader, and she has no skyfalls built into her leader skill as well. She's unbindable, she has the bind recovery awakening, she has perfect damage control because of the no skyfall clause, She has a rapidly scaling damage output, which I will show right here. Basically, at 5 combos, it's 9 times, not significant. 6 is 36, we're getting there. 7, 81, holy crap, we're getting there. And then 144 times, 225, 324 times. So basically, you are hitting an incredible amount of damage, but we're not done there because you can beautifully utilize 7 combo awakenings. So those cards who have 7 combo awakenings are hitting twice as hard. So that 81 times jumps up to 162 times. Most things fall over with 7 combos. You also can efficiently use Dragon Killers because you need to use healer types. And healers are the ones who use Dragon Killers, and because Arena 3 is the most popular dungeon to play right now, Dragon Killers are in great demand. So you have a team that can fully utilize Dragon Killers, you have a huge and rapid scaling multiplier, and you have the ability to use numerous Hakus as an ideal team. So this is looking pretty amazing overall. And what's great, especially for me, is that it does not rely on 6-star Godfest exclusives. So her team building is relatively gentle. If you just fill it with healers, you're still doing amazing amounts of damage. Obviously, having healers with 7 combo awakening is more ideal, but you still can get by with non-7 combo cards because you still have a very high scaling multiplier. In terms of her cons, she is purely skill-based. You can't get lucky. What you match is exactly what you get. You plan it out, and that's what happens. There are no Skyfalls, so again, that's partially why it's purely skill-based. And to a certain extent, you have to hit 7 combos every turn to deal significant damage, but thankfully, for the most part, almost every single board available will have 7 combos that you can manufacture. Sometimes you'll have 6, but generally that's because there are hazard orbs or just weird distributions. And the last con, I feel, is that she does have some difficulty in stalling due to the fact that in order to stall and heal, you need to match lots of combos. And even though you have high base recovery, you're still probably going to be dealing decent amounts of damage. Maybe you can make 6 combos and heal up, but may not be sufficient. So it can be a little bit of a downside. And that's what I've felt when I've been playing her through Arena 3 in solo mode. So, like I already mentioned, she can use Dragon Killers. She has 7 combo awakenings. Well, she doesn't have it, but her subs can. And the fact that she can use Haku means she's somewhat top tier because Haku is just incredible. 2 TPAs also further diversifies your damage output potential. You can choose to match TPAs, you can choose not to. You hit 7 combos, you don't. You have a great amount of damage control just because of the way Haku is designed. And her leader skill is quite amazing. You have 2.25 times health for healers. So healers who have naturally low health, although it's kind of offset by reincarnated evolutions, are able to hit 60,000+ health in solo mode. You obviously have great, amazing scaling damage, and you have huge base recovery. Plus, the fact that she has actually this enhanced heal orb awakening does lend some benefits to your healing output, because if I don't use a recovery badge, my team has over 6,000 base recovery because almost every hard orb is going to... Well, I'm going to be getting a hard orb at least 40% of the time that comes enhanced. So my healing output is tremendously powerful. But I do feel like her stalling is somewhat limited, kind of like how Dark Athena is, because Dark Athena needs to deal damage to heal, and Kusanagi Hime somewhat does as well. Like I said, unless you have a ton of hard orbs on the board, you are going to have to match many combos to heal. So what I like to do is I like to get myself down to a manageable health threshold. I get somewhat low while hoarding hard orbs, and then I match the whole board, combo as hard as possible, then heal up to full health with that. That's how I like to stall. You don't get that much stalling out of her, but it's reasonable still. And I have quite a few solo Arena 3 clears with her. One I've recorded, I've done a bunch off stream because I can do it at my own pace and I don't have to talk through it. But this is the team setup I used. I used basically a dupe Kusanagi Hime as an inherit. I have Anaphon on Haku for heart generation and some extra bulk. I have a Zeta Hydra for delays. I have Tsubaki in order to basically remove hazards, and it's not a bad active skill overall, helps condense my board. Also, it helps deal with Ill-6 if Ill-6 does not cooperate. I have Lumiel onto my Claire, basically so I'm able to have a way to deal with pre-draws, because I don't use Guard Break because it's not convenient for me to bring a Guard Break. In order to use Guard Break, I have to use a light-based card, and I don't have a good light healer, so I'd rather just have 4 subs that are all dark with double TPA and 7 combo awakening and just simply Lumiel my way through it. Lumiel's active is still reasonable. You get 4 element boards and you can make, usually for the most part, 8 combos from it, so it's not a bad thing. I don't see it as a limitation. And to be honest, you can kill the killer latent invade because it only has 2.5 million defense because dark versus light. So basically 7 combos TPA, easily dead. And I'm okay with this setup. Like, it works for me. And I have Indra on Kusanagi Hime for extra tanking, so I can survive Hera Dragon. I guess Fujin would also work, but I feel like the shield is good and I have damage control anyways. And in terms of my latent setup, I have Dragon Killers on each of my subs. And because I have Dragon Killers on each of my subs and leaders, my damage is consistent. I would not give 2 Dragon Killers to someone unless everyone is following suit. Because if I do give, say, 2 Dragon Killers to one of my Hakus, that Haku is going to be hitting too hard, and that is a problem. So by blanketing one on across each sub, I have perfect damage control intact. Now, I did record my very first clear in solo mode. It's obviously a little janky because I'm literally learning the leader as I play along, but it should give you an idea of how relatively forgiving she is. I can make some errors, but I am durable. My output is pretty amazing. And the number of wood resists I have does allow me to math and calculate out how much I need to survive. And I have had several different Gaia Dragon encounters. This is a different playthrough, but basically I know I will survive with exactly 36 health. It's a little scary, but it feels good when you know exactly you can survive. Like, the key is you need to find someone who trusts you as much as I trust my wood resists, and you will be forever happy. And this other example, basically this top screenshot here is 9 combos with the bonus of +1 with 2 TPAs of Dark. This one is 10 combos. Obviously I used the +1 because I had a 9 combo board. Still hitting amazingly hard, but look at the sub elements. 10 million on the sub elements. Like, I had a very fire heavy board for sure. So the next, basically in summation, Reincarnated Cecilia Hime is fantastic. I think she's my favorite leader right now. I enjoy playing her more than Dark Athena, but she does take a little more conscious effort. Dark Athena is a lot more mindless, so pros and cons with both. Reincarnated Pandora. So Reincarnated Pandora has received a very powerful, well, she has not received a powerful upgrade. She received a great boost to her overall artwork. And she was once a top tier leader, but Gung-Ho has, I feel, been shying away from using row teams and in favor of more combo-centric leaders. And this is kind of showing because Pandora is underwhelming. She is a tank-oriented leader, but her output is quite low. Krishna deals significantly more damage, is able to hit more combos as well, and Pandora has a lower defensive multiplier. And this is kind of sad because Pandora is a lot newer than Krishna. Krishna is quite old. Krishna is what, 5-6 months old? This is kind of silly. Like, Pandora doesn't really keep up. And maybe this is a good thing because the meta is shifting more towards combos. But again, people like their Pandoras. I think she's fun and great. I used Lucifer before I got Pandora, but Pandora does work beautifully still. So some people will be a little disappointed that their nostalgia or fondness for Pandora is not being rewarded. But I did play a run through Arena 1 with her. It can obviously clear it with relative ease, but it does feel cumbersome because a row of Dark doesn't even kill most floors. So it takes a lot of effort to actually use her efficiently, and it's just a slow, albeit safe team to play. Next, we come to Reincarnated Ame no Uzume, and Ame no Uzume tends to be overlooked because she didn't really have a good home, her active skill is a bit underwhelming, and just didn't really fit anywhere perfectly. But with her new Reincarnated evolution, things do change a little bit because she is able to pump out more consistent damage. She has 7 combo awakening and 2 fire rows. Now, those may be somewhat juxtapositions to each other because it's hard to hit 7 combos with a row, but you don't have to always go for both at the same time. You can mix and match. If you don't have enough fire orbs present, go for the combos. If you have 7 combo awakening subs, you are going to be dealing respectable amounts of damage because she does hit for 81 times. So it's kind of like Reincarnated Cecilia Hime. You can do explosive amounts of damage with 7 combos. In addition, if you don't have a very good comboable board or you're being lazy, match your row. You might kill things anyways. You still have 81 times damage, but you're able to do that row for the bonus augmentation. So it does work out, I feel, because you do have access to, say, Reincarnated Leyland, who does have as well 7 combos and rows, as well as a beautiful board changer for Ame no Uzume. So, like, it does feel a bit wasteful, but on the bright side, when you do use board changers, you tend to have at least 7 combos, and you can squeeze in rows. So when you do use your actives, you are able to stack at least both. Obviously, a TPA plus 7 combo is a little more efficient, but it's not the end of the world. And she is a reasonably powerful leader because she has 2.25 times health, 81 times attack. So that is respectable, but her main downside is the fact that she has no recovery, and she only boosts devils and physicals. And that is a problem because those have naturally low recovery values of their own. So you're are going to struggle to heal even with a recovery badge. And maybe you can argue you can use the active skill to gain bonus recovery, but that means you're basically sacrificing 2 active skills to heal. And high-end top-tier teams already have the recovery component built in, and they actually have 6 instead of 4 active skills. So that is going to be her main limiting factor, I feel, overall. Next is Arsenova and Goetta, and these 2 demons have been somewhat underwhelming, but they have been receiving many micro buffs over a period of time, as well as this new evolution. So their active skill does randomly generate 5 orbs of their primary color, as well as enhancing that primary color. So it's actually quite powerful for monocolor teams, but it may be sometimes hard using them as a sub. They have low stats. Their enhanced orb awakenings are helpful, so it's kind of like a hit and miss. And their new evolution does grant them 49 times attack if those cards share those 2 elements. And this becomes a completely unconditional 49 times attack. So that's pretty powerful for at least mindless farming, as well as blazing through easy content quickly. So maybe there's some hope, maybe you can find some use for them. You have lots of orb enhances, so you do have a lot of passive damage there as well. Next is the challenge mode renewal, and challenge mode has been revamped to use your leader, 2 of your subs, and a friend for the chance of basically unlocking additional magic stones. And this renewal has reset the chance to gain magic stones in normals and technicals. So there are probably like 40, 50 magic stones to be acquired through here. So that's amazing. Like, you can't really complain. Like, basically you're gonna go through playing old easy content and gain magic stones when you clear it. So this is exciting, this is fun, and I like this new change because you still keep the leader skills intact, so you still feel like that team, but you obviously have the unique challenge of only being able to use 2 subs. This will naturally lower your health, your recovery, your skill bind resist levels, and you also have fewer actives. So this would be quite challenging to overcome, especially when you start playing through harder content. So I'm actually looking forward to trying this in the future because you get to experiment and try new things. And for a bit of inspiration, one of my friends, Dark with Funny Symbols, whose code you can add there because they're a friendly and nice person, has showcased a couple of Arena 1 clears in challenge mode. They used Aizen, they've used Raw Dragon, and they've used Anubis. So there is hope, and the main goal is you want to use leaders with high multipliers because they can fully capitalize on having less subs and pumping out damage on a consistent basis. For those who are not wanting to tackle, say, Arena 1 right away in challenge mode, what you should do is possibly try and lead with a Hino or a Reincarnated Hino, because they deal a large amount of follow-up damage, and dual Hino leaders mean 200,000 damage as a follow-up. So what you do is you match one single combo, and that will kill the floor for most of the normal dungeons and a lot of the technicals. So this is a way to speed through the content that's basically easy and just kind of repetitive. So this is great and beneficial. And what you can do is load up on only red subs, so that way any one combo you match, provided it's not red, goes faster because nothing actually occurs. However, if you want to capitalize on the 9 times damage between the 2 leaders, you need to bring a red fire sub or, a fire dark sub or a dark fire sub. But basically, it's an easy way to get your challenge mode stones. Even if you don't have Hino, just pair of a friend, you still have 100,000 odd damage. And what you should be doing is holding off just for now on these challenge modes and wait for the Gung Ho Egg Machine Renewal. Because the Gung Ho Egg Machine Renewal is basically bringing back everyone's favorite Egg Machine event. Because starting on Friday, May 12th, we now have the chance to pull plus 15 with 500 PAL points. So 15 plus eggs per pull is unbelievable. It's incredible. And if you do have ample best friends, I strongly advise you to use each and every one of them every single day, because for 2 stamina by playing the lowest normal dungeon, or at least going through the challenges because you're using that stamina anyways, but for 2 stamina you get basically 100 PAL points, which is equal to 3 plus eggs. So for 10 stamina you have 15 plus eggs. Nothing can compete with that level of efficiency, because Starden is 25 stamina for 10 plus eggs. So you're 2.5 times more efficient through the Gung Ho Egg Machine using best friends in 2 stamina normal dungeons. Save your PAL points, roll heavily. I'll make a video with a couple hundred rolls just because everyone gets like seeing things pop out of the machine. So in conclusion, version 11.0 is one of the most exciting updates, I feel, because of the monster box folders. Because now we have unlimited customization, we have basically a more intelligent and sophisticated medium for sorting our monster box. Furthermore, the new evolutions are exciting, and there's lots more in store because we're starting to catch up to the Japan's 5-year anniversary stream. So let me know which of these features you are most excited about in the comments below. Hopefully you all have a mantastic day, and happy puzzling.